What's going on, YouTube? This is Isaiah Fowler. You already know, right? I am the founder of Suave Eyewear and Suave Agency. And today's video, I wanted to make a video about knowing the history of your company. We're in the middle of the third quarter of the year, right? Basically, Q3 is when everything kind of like dies down. Things slow up, people are on vacation and stuff like that. And I think that it's very, very, very important to make this video about knowing your trends and studying the history of your company. Because if you don't know this, then everything is like a shot in the dark, right? So we about to get on this whiteboard right here, and I'm gonna break some stuff down for you. So get your pen and your pad, and get ready to learn and get ready to execute. And this is for any business, right? I like direct to consumer and e-commerce, but I speak off principles. I speak off of, this could go to service or product. It really doesn't matter. This is principle-based stuff right here I'm about to share with you. So get ready. I'm about to give you some game, and I hope that this adds a lot of value to your life, all right? So let's get it. All right, what up? So we got 2 years right here, right? So I'm gonna show you the power of trends and why it's important to pay attention to your trends so that you actually understand what's going on in your business. So right here we have a previous year. So I want you to plug your business right here, okay? Whatever your previous year's numbers were. And here's a good thing about it also. This is not just revenue, this is anything. So let's say you want to see what are the trends of X amount of product. How many units did we sell for a product? You can go look at it month by month, right? Month by month. So this month you sold X amount of units. This month you sold however many units. And then you can look back the previous year to see. And so here's what usually happens. Most businesses, they have a seasonality to them. So let's say if I was a candle company, and let's say this is how the trend looked. January was a little bit down, and then February started going up. April, May, things went up, and then for June, July, and August, they were a little down, and then September, they started going up, and then October, they started going up higher, November for holiday season, and December, right? And then we start going back into January. Now, this is like a graph or something that you can see a trend. Now, with this, you have every month, whatever the metric is, you can see. And when I say metric, what I mean is, are we looking for what is the revenue trend? Are we looking at first time customer trend? Are we looking at units sold trend, right? Are we looking at whatever? There's so many different metrics you could be looking for to see what the trends are. But based on like when I work with clients, right now we're in Q3, right? So we are right here, okay? And we're right here in the middle of August. So this Q3, this is a time where most people get scared. Business starts to slow down for them. And the reason why business starts to slow down is because around this time, people are going on vacations. They're going to spend time with their family. It's the summertime, right? Commerce may slow down, especially if you have a product that is maybe good in the fall or something like that, right? But things just slow down. This is a historical thing. No matter retail goes goes down a little bit, goes on a downward trend during the Q3. That's why a lot of retail companies, not retail companies, but companies that sell products, they always have a Christmas in July. The reason why is because July is like the first month that things kind of are on the downward trend because it's going into the third quarter. So what companies do is they do that so that they can sustain things for the third quarter because they know in Q4, the holiday season, that's when things are going to go back up. So they're trying to hedge things in the revenue right here, right now, and just kind of stay cool and not dip too low. So that way they're ready for this right here. It's very important that you don't allow yourself to just stop right here, right? When business is slow, that does not mean that you allow things to be slow for you. And I know that's easier said than done, but it's extremely important to your brand. And the reason why is because if you allow things to be slow here and you don't do anything, you're not proactive at all, you're not on the offense, what's going to happen is once Q4 hits, you're going to have no momentum going into Q4, right? And Q4 is when, companies make about 30% of their revenue in Q4. So if let's say we are in 2022, let's say this is 2022, right? And let's say this is 2021. 2021. Boom. Okay. So right now, around this time of year, right? People are freaking out. People were actually freaking out earlier this year. Now, the reason why they were freaking out is because they were focused and used to the numbers from COVID. When COVID hit, e-commerce sped up by 5 years, okay? E-commerce sped up by 5 years. So you got to see a glimpse of the future of digital commerce. But now things are starting to level out. Now, if you were not looking at last year's numbers, then you're going to panic right now, right? Most brands, most entrepreneurs, especially in e-commerce, all they're looking at is monthly revenue and that's it. That's it. You should never only be looking at just monthly revenue, right? Because if you don't know what you did this same month of last year, then you don't know how to compare your business. And that's why you're going to be comparing yourself to so many other people. Because if you know that last July, your revenue was X, then you know how to prepare for that. So let's do an example really quickly. Let's say last July, you made $12,000, right? Last July, you made $12,000. And let's say your average monthly revenue is let's say it is 20K. Okay. So let's say last year, your average monthly revenue was $20,000. Last July, you did $12,000. Okay. So let's say this year at 2022, you're averaging let's say your average monthly revenue now, let's say your company has grown a little bit. Let's say the average monthly revenue now is 30K. Okay. All right. So let's say this year you're averaging 30,000, right? 28, 35, whatever the case may be. But July is coming up. And then in July, you have a slow month. Let's say you do 18K for July. Right? And this is why strategy is so important. So now, let's say you have an $18,000 month. Now you're freaking out. What's going on? Business is slow, blah, blah, blah. But the thing about it is, you weren't paying attention to your trends. Because if you saw, or if you were studying your monthly revenue from the previous year, you would know that last July was a very slow month. So you either need to brace yourself, or you need to be proactive and create a campaign and or a promotion for this month of July so that you can increase your revenue so that you don't fall short like you did last year. But if you're not paying attention to your trends, your own personal trends, then how are you going to know what to do? I hope that this is making sense, because this literally right here is millions of dollars worth of game, and this is gonna save you so much time and so much mental gymnastics that you'll be putting your own self through. So this is what it is right here. You need to be paying attention to last year's numbers. If you knew how much revenue you generated the month of the previous year and you were trying to beat that every year or every month, your company would grow, because what you focus on, it does grow. Now, also, there are things that play a factor: manufacturing, industry trends. Okay, here's another thing. We have something, industry trends. Right? So you have trends for your business, right? What did we do in the summertime this last year? What did we do in the holiday season last year? How did we start Q1 last year? These are all trends, right? But what about the industry trends? What are the trends that are going on in the actual industry of where I'm participating in? This is important. So for eyewear, you have, it is fashion. So what color palettes are good for the spring or the summertime? What designs are really standing out to people? How are people shopping now? Those are all trends that I need to be paying attention to, right? So that I know how to move forward and what I need to be doing. So those are industry trends. So you have industry trends, and you also have the trends for your actual company. You need to be studying your own company. And the crazy part is, Shopify has this information for you. But most people don't even pay attention to their own trends. And that's why they are always stressed out and worried and always having to do sales. If you paid attention to your company trends, you would most likely be doing less sales, because you would not be chasing revenue. You would be understanding the flow of your actual company. You need to be able to know, what is the yearly flow of your business and your company? How does it actually operate throughout the year? And if you give up before a year, you won't even have data to be able to go back and forth to. Does that make sense? I hope this is making sense, because think about this. If you start a business and you give up on month 6, you don't even have a full cycle to look back on. You don't even have a year to look back on and say, this worked, this didn't work. All you have is what you think should happen based on what you're seeing in other people's lives. But you want to be looking at your company. So the real mindset is, go hard, do what you need to do in year 1 and year 2. And then as you grow, you can start looking at your trends from the previous years and the previous months, and then you can start building on top of that. And that's how you're going to be able to grow your monthly revenue month over month. It's not just about Facebook ads. It's not just about TikTok ads, right? It's way more intricate and deep than just ads and marketing. It's about understanding and knowing this, and this is where strategy really comes into play, because we could really set up a plan to grow the business 10 to 15% per month or per quarter. And if you can do that every quarter or every month, when you zoom out and you look out and you look back onto your business from a more elevated standpoint, you're going to see how much the business actually grew. So this is what I wanted to talk about. We're in Q3 now, right? You need to know your trends, because you don't need to be freaking out right now when Q3 is the slowest quarter of e-commerce ever historically. You could go into any analytics and you could look at what usually happens in the third quarter of the year in companies that sell products, retail, and you'll see what it is. The same way January is usually a lower revenue month for a lot of e-commerce brands, a lot of product-based businesses that have brick and mortars, simply because the holidays just happened. So this is how we have to start thinking. We have to start thinking way more strategic so that we can get where we want to get to. So if you have a product-based business or a service-based business, and you want to really dive into your actual strategy of your company, of your business, then click the link in the description. You could go to growwithswab.com and schedule a discovery call with me. And then from there, we can schedule a strategic intensive. And in this strategic intensive, we're going to go and set up a legit plan for the business for you to grow. And we're going to base it off of data, and we're going to base it off of what I know works. We're going to base it off of principles. Everything I'm sharing with you doesn't matter what your business is. This pertains to your business and how you need to be operating as a CEO. Okay? So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them below. If you want to do a strategic intensive, click the link in the description. Go to growwithswab.com, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.